Come on, come on! Pick up, pick up, pick up! Of all the times for Alex not to be glued to his screen. Ah, yes! Hello? 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 Gosh, I'm sorry, you were right about everything. I'm serious. Everything. Remember back in high school when you'd make fun of me for the kinds of people who'd flock to my side and confess to me, and how they were all sorta, weird nerds with, issues with anger and possessiveness, and, not that I really had the right to call anybody weird to begin with, but those kinds of people, even though the most I do was smile or not be actively hostile to them, well, this time it wasn't a weird nerd. Isn't, I mean. In fact, I probably looked more like the weird nerd right next to them, always so shy and so quiet and never really talking to them, even though we sat right next to each other. We run into each other all the time at the public library. I I don't know when I picked up on it. I don't know if I ever would have picked up on it at all if I wasn't trying to piece everything together now, but I'd stay for hours at a time. You know this, and I'd do my work, my research, the usual caseload, but at some point, they began staying longer and longer, always within my sights. It wasn't weird, but look, you know me, Alex. You're the one who's always saying I'm working myself to the bone. I barely remember to drink anything more than the sugariest of coffees, if anything at all. Let alone eat or sleep or take breaks. There just isn't enough hours in the day as is. I'm too slow and too sloppy to get anything done with the hours I do have, but they started bringing me food. I don't know if it was something they picked deliberately up for me or just a snack they happened to have lying around. I don't even know if it matters in a situation where everything could conceivably matter when everything could not, but I was half asleep most of the time. I can barely remember when it went from bagged orange slices to Chinese food and from handing it to me to outright feeding me, but gosh, I can still feel my heart beating at that. It's crazy, you know? They actually fed me. I wasn't even thinking about it. They just pushed some chopsticks past my lips and told me that the glazed over look I had was simply too adorable to not love, and I almost choked to death in front of them because I was half asleep. Unbelievable. Stuff like that just doesn't happen to me. I'm more surprised if it isn't an outright joke. Or if it is a joke, they're taking way too long to get to the punchline. Because it isn't even just like food anymore. I'm not like their alternative to a garbage can anymore. It seems like they're actually trying to actively hang out with me. They do coffee runs for me. They pull me away from my books. They talk to me and the like. I don't want to stop working when they do that. I never want to take a break when they're grabbing my wrist to go sit outside for a little while. You know this. I'm too busy, but it's not like I want them to get mad at me, and they're just trying to be nice, you know? And they look so sweet, and I've never had it this good before. No offense to you, of course, but it's different, Alex. Surely you know that. When Mark wanted my attention, he strangled a kid for calling him Marco Polo and got mad at me for crying over it, but when they want my attention, they smile at me, and their eyes crinkle up, and they ask me to go sit on the library stoop while they wait for their ride, or tell me they found a book they thought I'd like, or just simply ask what I'm working on today. I've never had it that good before. No wonder I'm falling over myself like this. I'm pathetic, you know. I know that one of these days it's just going to turn out to be a weird joke for what, you know? But it's just. It was just nice that one night. With the cool air bustling around us as we counted how many red cars we could see through the street lamps, and it was such a simple moment for the world to hold still for. But it did. For us. How many people can really say that, you know? I'd feel self-conscious about how clingy and attached I'd get, of course, but it practically didn't matter. They never made me feel like a burden or annoying or just somebody they were shooting the shit with until the people they actually liked could hang out with them. I felt safe, you know? I don't think I've ever had somebody care about me this much. No offense, Alex, you know I'd never ask this kind of thing of you, and I didn't even know I wanted something like this until it began happening to me, but I guess I do. And I just never realized how nice it might be able to run into a person time and time again who is never not happy to see me. It's nice. It's really, really nice. But it's just not that easy, you know? Because, well, well, because that night where we watched the cars, I can't believe it was such an event to me that I can refer to it as that night specifically, but while we were waiting, I had brought my coffee out to sip with them. It was cold already, but you don't just waste $5 on a drink made with 3 different whipped creams to not finish it, so there I was, sipping cold coffee in the cold evening. It was already so distracting, as if that's any excuse for how my hand shook, but it spilt all over my favorite jacket and everything. I'm lucky for them. I would have run in with the thing and scrubbed it raw under the bathroom sink and just have hoped for the best, but they told me that if I got them a few damn paper towels, the scrubbing wouldn't fray or something like that. And I trusted them, right? And they said it with such conviction, such authority, and they got so close to my face, and so I so I ran in to get the paper towels and do what they said, but when I got back, they were gone. And so was the jacket. My favorite jacket. The one they said smelled like warm lavender and milk tea, when I only ever smelt soap and sweat. Why would warm lavender smell any different than room temperature lavender to begin with? I can't begin to imagine, but maybe that's when I should have realized it. Maybe that's when I really should have known. Because it wasn't just my favorite coat after that. It was my favorite gel pens, the kind that glide on the paper and distribute the ink evenly. The headband that I used to push back my bangs while reading. My underthings. I didn't notice for so long, but now I can't help but think that I chose not to. Chose not to keep a friend from becoming a fiend in my eyes, but Alex. Alex, Alex, Alex! Alex. Alex. I've begun leaving stuff out for them. Like, on purpose. Nothing important. My favorite squid themed keychain that just so happens to fall off my keyring when I leave. A crumpled up page of doodles and notes that misses the wastebasket. I didn't even mean for them to take that apple core, but they must have, right? Alex, the problem is, I don't know what comes next. I don't know what I want to happen next, and I have no way to calculate their next moves. Their next moves might involve us just continuing to engage in this drift-compatible motions we are carrying for ourselves, but if not, the possibilities of advancements in their advances could be endless! Keeping me locked up in a basement, or killing my family members, or hunting me down for sport, or even finally telling me what a fool I've been, and how pathetic I am for latching onto their side the way I have, making their thefts of my most beloved things into a show of love rather than the act of malice it so clearly is. Any day now, they're gonna throw me through the ringer. And when they do, I am going to deserve it. I am going to. Hello? Hello? Alex! Alex! Alex, you can't just. Hello? Who's there?